Hey techies, welcome back to kaetalkstech. I'm Kay, owner of K Info Tech Consulting and Services. Let's talk tech. So today I want to hit you with some interview questions and answers. I hate those lists that give you interview questions, but they don't give you an idea of why the question is being asked or how to answer them. So I'm going to try and do that with you today. So let's just jump right into it. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do them all, and if I don't, I'll do a part two. So the first thing I want you to know is when you go to an interview, please dress appropriately. It's okay to be a little overdressed, but it's never okay to be underdressed. So wear a suit, okay? This is a professional technical interview, and if you're interviewing over the video, then wear an Oxford shirt. I try to always wear a white blouse or a white shirt. You see this shirt I'm wearing now? I would never wear this to an interview. I would only wear something plain colored, and it's probably going to be white or black. Depends on what sort of company I'm interviewing with. If I'm interviewing with one of the big banks, oh, I'm wearing a white blouse for sure. And it's going to be very conservative. Nothing low cut, none of that stuff, okay? Because that's not the appropriate place for that. Okay, so let's move on. When you are answering interview questions, you need to be very strategic. Some people just go to the interview and they answer the questions off the top of their head. Don't do that. The competition is stiff. There's really no second chances, so be sure that you prepare for your interview, okay? When you answer your questions, the behavioral questions, not the technical questions, the behavioral questions, right? Be sure to use some sort of method. I like the STAR method, and now I'm seeing something called the PAR method, and I think I like that even better. So the STAR method I wasn't coughing right before I started this video, and I really don't want to do it again. If you've noticed, there's no entertainment value in these videos. I'm bringing you straight information, so if you want beautifully edited videos, no, I'm talking to you like you're my favorite niece or nephew. That's right, because I qualify for auntie, although I know I don't look it, darling. I do. And so I want to give you the best information possible and cut to the chase. So I was saying, I like the STAR method. Now I'm hearing about PAR method, which I like even better because it's less for me to remember. And you can focus on your answer as opposed to how you're answering it. But you need to go over your resume and come up with answers to questions based on your resume. So the STAR method is situation, task, action, result. So when someone asks you about one of your projects, you can say, this was a situation, here are the tasks that I had to do, these are the actions that I took, and here's the result. Okay? The PAR method is problem, action, result. So here's the problem I was trying to solve, here's the action that I took, and here's the result. I consider the PAR method to be a little better for more senior resources because you probably don't have tasks. Probably the entire problem is yours to solve when you get to a certain level. So you can use either one. And so that's how you frame the answers to your questions. So let's go over some questions. I'm trying to keep my eye on the time because I want to make sure I get this done in under 10 minutes. And like I said, if I don't, I'll do a part two. So one question, you're always going to get this question. I've never had an interview where I didn't get this question or some version of this question. So you have to understand that not everybody will word the question the same way. So you need to be able to recognize when you're asked a question that's actually the same as some other question that you've studied for. And so the first question is always going to be, tell me about yourself. Okay? Now, some people talk about their trajectory through their career and so forth, which is fine for more junior resources, but what they really want to hear is what have you done that relates to the job that they have? How can they use you in this position? Okay. So you want to give some context about your career, but you also want to be sure that you mention things they're looking for. And they're also looking to see if you're a fit for the company. Well, the whole interview, they're looking to see if there's a fit. Just a word about fit. Fit has become super, super, uber important because there are so many candidates that it makes the interview process something that people are starting to dread, and they definitely don't want to do it twice. So, the way you can show that you're a fit when you answer, tell me about yourself, you can throw in a couple of facts about the company. Make sure you research the company. I would think I don't have to tell you that, but maybe I do, so I'm telling you. Be sure to research the company and then see how you can relate to the company's mission and the company's values. You know, you can say, you know what, I was looking at your website and I really resonated with blah, 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 blah. Okay. And that's helped me get roles. Um, it's not that they're not going to change their mind if you don't have the skills they're looking for, but it could give you an edge over the competition if you do have the skills. So if two people come in with the same skill set and one person comes across as a better fit, that's the person who will get hired. Um, Another question people like to ask is, how do you stay updated with current technology, right? So what they're doing is making sure that you are actually staying updated with current technology. I don't know why my hair is sticking up like that. Anyway, they're trying to make sure that you're staying on top of things. That's why I keep telling you to take some little AI classes. Hey, some of these little classes like Databricks, which reminds me, I have to check on my little certificate because I never got it from them. But Databricks has a little 4-course certificate, 4-course, a little 4-video course that you can take in AI, and then they give you a little certificate. So those videos are short videos. You can do it half a day on a Saturday, or maybe a few lunch times. You can probably do it in 2 lunch times and get that little certificate, put that on your resume, because that shows that you're keeping up with technology, right? Okay, so you actually want to have something to stay here. So what do I say? I say, well, I take classes, I belong to industry groups, I read articles, I get certifications, and I have a bunch of certifications to show that that's actually true. Okay? Make sure that what you're saying is actually true, and if you haven't done it yet, then start reading. I watch YouTube videos. Okay? But you want to have several things you can say. You don't want to just say, one thing, or even just 2 things. So have at least 3 things you can say. Another question that I see asked sometimes is, what are the qualities of a successful blank? And the blank is whatever role you're interviewing for. So, for instance, if I'm interviewing for a business analyst role, they'll ask me, what qualities make a good business analyst? Because whatever you say, they assume that you have those qualities. Like, don't say things you don't have. That's that won't be good. Or if I'm interviewing for a project manager, they'll ask me, well, what qualities make a successful project manager, right? So if you're a developer, they're going to ask you, and they asked me when I was a developer, what qualities make a successful developer? So that's all I have time for right now. I only had time for 3. So there's definitely going to be a part 2 and maybe even a part 3. So like the video, share the video, follow the channel, go to kaetalkstech.com, read about my background and see how I can help you. Reach out to me over there and then come back here when we will continue to talk tech and more interview questions. Bye.